Hello, and welcome to the Music Shack Podcast. This is episode number 5. This week you're joined by myself, Bruce,
Anna,
Ron,
and Ed.
Starting off with our Billboard for the week.
we want to jump right into artists.
If
Well, we've got Lil Baby at number 1. We have Bad Bunny at number 2. BTS at 3. James Taylor at 4.
And Roddy Ricch is still holding at 5.
Meh?
Yep.
I have Post.
I mean, it's good to see 3 new entries on there, at least.
Yeah.
Brand new entries, like they. So it is our top 5 songs. The Box sitting at number 1 still.
of course.
Because why not?
Life is Good sitting at number 2. Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa is now at number 3. Circles by Post Malone went down to 4.
Stupid Love by Gaga at 5.
And that's a new entry as well.
I didn't think it would be up there so quickly.
I mean, it's Lady Gaga.
I knew it was
It's-
going to get up there, but
It's quite generic.
for her, a little bit.
And then
Roxanne by Arizona Zervas at 6. And Blinding Lights at 7. Is that The Weeknd?
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
weekend.
Okay.
I can't wait for that album. Cannot wait.
When's it supposed to come out?
March 20th.
Oh, cool.
So,
We want to jump over to albums.
yeah. Number 1 album is Lil Baby's My Turn. So, and last week I talked about it. I thought it was a dope album. I enjoyed all 20 songs. And the standouts for me was Heating Up with Gunna, Live Off My Closet with Future, Commercial featuring Lil Uzi Vert, Forever featuring Lil Wayne, and Something to Prove were like my top 5 suggestions if you wanted to just listen and get a feel for the album, but it's a dope album.
We've got YHLQMDLG by Bad Bunny, which is a Spanish abbreviation for I Do What I Want, when you actually spell the words out.
Ah,
Had to know what that was. Map of the Soul 7 at
BTS.
3.
And then American Standard, James Taylor at 4, and Roddy Ricch with Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial at number 5, which
Yeah.
hasn't changed.
Speaking of changes,
Let's not.
I'd rather be down.
Let's change the subject.
hey!
Segue.
The Billboard's pop list, which hasn't really changed much,
Yeah.
or honestly, really at all. Number 1, Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa. Number 2, Roxanne, Arizona Zervas. Number 3, Hot Girl Bummer by Black Bear. Number 4, Circles by Post Malone. Number 5, Heartless by The Weeknd. And number 6, Dance Monkey by Tones and I. Again, I don't know what's going on with that algorithm. I don't know what's happening.
This is why I didn't look at the rock charts, because I'm just not...
But I've got it there. There you go. Merry Christmas.
I think it's hard to generalize music anymore because there's so many influences from other genres that come in.
Yeah, but usually you can tell when a certain artist or a band or whatever is focusing on one genre, and they may have influences from other ones. Just because they have an influence does not mean you get to throw them in the genre that they're being influenced by. Does not mean you get to do that.
I mean, the Grammys gave Tyler, the Creator, Rap Album of the Year for a pop song, for a pop album.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, you can't, just because it may have influence doesn't mean you can classify it as such. It is whatever the core genre is that the artist or band is making. That's what you classify it as. You can say there's influence of this genre, this genre, this genre, but whatever its core genre is supposed to be, that's what you classify it under.
I agree with you on that.
Because I know otherwise
Do
you just
they?
get...
No.
But I
No.
don't
But
think
should
they
they?
necessarily know, though.
Yes.
That's the thing. I mean, because there's certain genres out there that when you hear them, they don't necessarily sound like they... Different people would say it sounds like something different. You know?
I guess that's fair.
I've seen plenty of things labeled indie, and I thought that they were alternative. You know?
There are some very odd songs, but usually they're really weird.
Yeah.
They have an obscure thing to it. May it be the vocals, the instruments that are used, or just how they're played.
Yeah, indie for music, the way I see it, it's classified similarly to indie genres for games,
Okay.
which is like very obscure types of games or obscure aspects in them and not very well known developers. So that's kind of how I generally see the music as well. It's like there may be obscure elements in it, and it may be not a well known artist or a well known band. They're just kind of like out there with what they're putting, what they're making. So that's kind of how I see it. I think that's generally how it's categorized.
Yeah. But I mean, get back to the rock list. How they had, what was that, Panic at the Disco?
You know, 2 different songs off of a pop album.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
feel
number
like
1 and 2.
sometimes what they do is they pigeonhole artists and groups to whatever genre they were first exposed to that group as.
Right, and it's still not an excuse to do it though.
It's not. No.
Because everybody's gonna jump
Yeah.
to some extent.
Speaking of genres and how difficult it is to classify them and how some people have really twisted it around, do we want to segue over to rap and or pop?
We could go into pop.
All right. I've got 4 songs from recently released pop on my list. Released on March 4th, we have Gaslighter by the Dixie Chicks. Dixie Chicks?
Dipsy Chips.
Dipsy Chips. We've got the Dipsy Chips with Gaslighter. Okay, though they've done collaborations over the past 14 years, this is the first album they've released in the past 14 years.
Okay.
So it's their first like all original work by
This is
just them.
their stuff.
Okay, that's a step, I guess. 14 years later.
This album will be out May 1st via Columbia Records. Until then, we have the song Gaslighter to get a little taste.
I mean, vocally, it sounded like them. It's what I expect when I see their name.
Oh, as soon as you hear, you know their voices.
Instrumentally,
More pop.
it was more popish than I was expecting.
I
When I hear
I-
them, I expect a more country sound.
When I saw this, I did not. I saw Dixie Chicks. I did not think pop, but when I heard the song, I did hear pop.
Yeah. I mean, it's got some country elements to it, but to the instrumental, but it's
It was
mainly pop.
essentially a modern kitchen with a couple country accents. That was really womany. I'm so sorry, guys. This is a room full of testosterone. That is the girliest thing I have said this entire run of podcasting. Okay,
Episode 5.
well,
Woo.
this song, of course, has to do with gaslighting and having been gaslighted, which is when you have it's being manipulated, psychologically, into questioning your own sanity. Sack of bullshit.
Yeah.
I mean, the song was really good for being pop and having that core difficult subject in mind. She still remains upbeat and she sounds firm in a strong way, not really bitter the whole time, which I can really appreciate. Even though with certain vocalists and musical artists, I would love to hear them just scream something like this out, or with that topic in mind out. This was pretty well done. For being a Dixie Chicks pop song about getting gaslighted, this is fucking great.
We have Demi Lovato. I Love Me.
I enjoyed this one very much.
It
I
was a great one.
related.
I felt like the intro, just instrumentally, the intro sounded a little odd at the very beginning.
At first.
So
But I found the I'm a black belt at beating up myself. That quote, I felt so fucking relatable.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
It is a very relatable song in terms of the topics of that it brings up. I also just didn't hear, I didn't think I would ever say that I liked the Demi Lovato song
Same.
either.
This is the second time I'm
100%.
saying it this year.
100%. I
Like-
actually related to this song more than I thought I would, because opening up how it starts off, it's more like it sounded more like you want to be like other people, and obviously that is not my deal. But that quote that you pulled up and finishing it off with, but I'm an expert at giving love to somebody else. Whoever said you can't love somebody else without loving yourself, that's a sack of shit. I have hated myself purely and truly from the bottom of my heart, cared about other people and other animals and all that other shit. So,
Yeah,
forget that.
It's very easy to, whatever, like, happiness or sympathy or whatever you may not have for yourself is easy to give to another person, in most regards.
And going back to what you Ed had said about the opening, did you not get, like, Child's Toy playing the music?
Yeah.
I was very much getting Child's Toy.
Yeah, it was very odd. Very odd.
But I love this. All about struggling, about being able to love yourself as much as you can love somebody else or something else. Along with... She kind of reaches a point of, like, fuck it.
Do me.
I got this. What am I worrying about? Psh. Just kind of like smacking that nasty voice in the back of your head away.
Yeah, it's like, I'm gonna do me and I'm gonna enjoy it. You can go do your own thing.
Another song on this recently released pop list is Never Worn White by Katy Perry. Announcing that baby bump is not a burrito, apparently.
Nope,
I think I saw that in Today.
It is a child.
It's a baby.
Damn. That's a fast-moving burrito.
And though she reveals the baby bump, the song doesn't really seem to have much to do with the baby and the baby carriage, but more about
More or less the...
a wedding,
Yeah, that's what it sounded like
getting
to me.
married.
Yeah.
It opens up with the wedding march.
Yeah.
It's a different version of it. It's played differently, but it is indeed the wedding march. Or a little piece of it. This was a very delicate pop song, in my opinion, with a very talented pianist. Even when I didn't really care what she was saying, sorry.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't put me to sleep.
Okay.
Though I didn't really care for what she was saying, I love piano. Oh, that was a...
Piano is one of those instruments that can bring out, depending on how it's used, can bring out a lot of emotion in just the right way. And in just the right context.
And to keep it from not being so in general, this isn't just about, like, getting married. This song's core topic, and that it's almost like a story being told. It's the moment when you get cold feet, and then you remind yourself, wait a minute, I friggin' love this person. That moment of, oh no, I'm gonna be trapped, what if this doesn't work out? Like, that psh, psh, you already got there. Obviously, you care about that person. She kind of thinks about the good things. Yeah. For what it was
It was nice.
nice.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a very delicate pop song.
Yeah. It was very lighthearted in terms of tone.
The last song, I'm still not sure how to pronounce this artist's name. Lauv?
I think Lolv.
Love.
Lauv is how you
Lauv.
spell it. And the
I don't
song
know.
is called Invisible Things, and I fell head over heels for this song, guys.
It
Rip it apart. Go right ahead.
It reminded me of the Chainsmokers.
Yeah.
It,
I got
instrumentally,
I got
very
a
much
very
so.
Chainsmokers sound out of it.
You know?
It was very simplistic and stripped in terms of like complexity.
Yeah.
But it had the same. It almost had the same cadence as what they usually put out.
Yes.
That's what I got out of
It's
it.
what you'd expect. Even with the vocal chops
yeah,
in the drop.
it was very similar.
So,
And I felt his vocals fit perfectly with the track.
yes.
You know? Like you could tell that they did some work with the vocals, and they did the right work, and it works.
Yeah.
Because I've heard people sit there and work with vocals, do the wrong work,
And it sounds botched.
and I'm like, I can't deal with this.
Yeah.
Like, so many times I heard rappers just go, more auto-tune, and I'll sound like fucking Frank Sinatra. No.
That was Lil Baby's album. It's auto-tune.
So
He wasn't singing, though. He was rapping.
Doesn't matter. Just a lot of
Still
tune.
happened.
So this lovely
True.
little jam opens up with how can I put this? It's an innocent and very sweet love story with children. That's where it all started. And it carried that theme out throughout the song, even with the wanting to be held, that still came off very innocent how it was worded. It was beautiful, in my opinion. Because a lot of them go very rated R very
Yes.
quickly.
Nah.
What you talking
Never.
about?
Never.
I don't see that at all.
I can't name one rated R pop song.
And I mean,
Not even by the Chainsmokers.
with the sound of the title, I really didn't expect this song to be about what it was about, which is it's just sharing feelings with other people. That's the invisible thing. You bastards. You're sick. This song's sweet and you're being fucktards.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The last note
At a
on
point-
this last note on this song that I have is this is 100% a summertime love song. If I close my eyes while I was listening to it, and I'm cruising in the car, I got my person driving, it's hot as fuck outside, and I got the windows down, and it's just gorgeous. It's just there. That's what it is.
I got a little worried for a second where you said you're driving your car with your eyes closed.
Riding. Did I say driving? I meant riding. Riding. I'm in the passenger seat.
Okay.
I was gonna say I'm very concerned.
Shirt on it, hanging at the window.
So, Lil Uzi Vert dropped his External Atake album. I love how he uses rather experimental beats, and he also experiments a little bit with his flow on this album. I've heard other people review the album and say that they're not too crazy about it, but it's kind of growing on them. Me, I enjoyed it the first listen because I enjoy hearing people experiment with shit. Some of the songs that stood out to me was Low Main, Pop, I'm Sorry, P2, Baby Pluto, Silly Watch, and Homecoming. Pop is a perfect example of the experiments the experimental flows that he did. Because the sound that he uses on that reminds me a lot of Ski Mask in the late Triple X, my bad. And one of the songs I had y'all focus on was Baby Pluto.
Back at it with the child's toy. Kids' toys to make beats. That's what's hot nowadays. You.
I couldn't really get with this song.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it was something. Even just the three of them in general. I don't know if it was something to do with the way the intros were, and the way the outros of the songs were. It's something about it. I don't understand why he did the bits in the beginnings and at the end of them.
But the end of Baby Pluto was a goofy ass ending. That was dope. I was laughing my ass off at that.
He does it through the whole album, and it doesn't seem that there's not much explanation.
It's just there. It's like
It's
filler, I guess.
like I'm sure I could look up his reasoning if I was to sit through like an interview, but
other than that, they were okay. Like that, just those parts were just like throwing me off a little bit. I was like, why? I don't understand the correlation here if there is one.
gotcha.
I do have a little beef with the heart and soul of the song, though. So, not to be hateful, but it was just about somebody having bukus amounts of money,
Yeah,
driving nice
It's-
cars, and having hot ladies.
That's the afterlife.
So,
Yeah.
That everyone strives for.
apparently.
but he did slip into a little something about possibly being a Episcopalian. You eat fish?
Pescatarian?
Pescatarian. What's a Episcopalian?
I don't know. But a pescatarian, yes, that is someone who primarily eats fish.
Yeah.
It's a T, not an L. Okay, brain. Okay. Okay. Well, I knew someone would correct me, or it would go unnoticed.
Anyway,
We also had Silly Watch, which I enjoyed the energy of on this track. I just really enjoyed the energy.
Is Let's Go Mario a reference to the track that they're using?
probably.
Like,
I wouldn't be surprised. There are there are a few rappers that will sample video game audio snippets, like audio cues.
Like, it very
really
much
weird.
gave me that inverted dark level of being in Mario, you know?
Well, a friend of mine showed me a rapper who samples the audio cues for the different Halo Reach medals for like double kill, triple kill, and all them. It's just as part of the song. I'm like, why?
I know there's a popular radio DJ who is a part of. I don't know if he's still a part of BBC Radio 1, but he was. And anytime somebody was in the booth, like doing a freestyle, he would fucking hit. He'd hit the soundboard, and it was the, I believe, Street Fighter, Hadouken, and like
What?
yes, and the perfect, like, and I'm like, okay,
How do you get away with that?
Oh my god, could you imagine just sampling bits of Mortal Kombat? Finish him!
Fatality.
Yeah!
I know
mean,
what.
I've
There's a
heard
few
it in
EDM
grind
songs that I
songs.
listen to that have stuff from. Fuck.
See, that makes a little bit more sense though.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like when it's in a rap song, it's like
Dr.
where's-
P, it's Tetris.
Well, I think it's even crazier when the guy's freestyling. Like you'll hear
And then
the DJ just sit there and go whoa, and then just like
and
hit
just drop it.
perfect. And you're like, okay, that's
Like,
just
how-
How am
too
I
hyped
supposed
for
to
the
bounce
moment.
off? How am I supposed to bounce off this?
I don't know.
So, got a little beef with this song too, I'm sorry.
Beef with it. Beef with it.
It was just another flaunt what you got, don't give a fuck attitude rap.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the generic.
That's the theme of it. It is
Yeah.
generic rap. I can just say generic rap. But why not get a little bit more descriptive? Why not be creative? We've already said the word generic 50 times.
Because those
have.
the specific ones that are out of the norm don't get that much attention.
But they're fun.
They are.
I'm tired of saying generic. It's boring.
How do you think I feel?
Boring.
That's why I generally don't listen to the genre.
Boring.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of music does share similar
Simular.
shit.
Simular
Simular.
Yeah.
simulation.
That sounded like I was buffering through the word. That was
And then we had Homecoming that you highlighted.
Yes. To me, it was another fun song to listen to. I thought it was odd hearing the 808 clav in the beat, because when I hear that sound, I think of like almost like a classic Dre beat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like something that you just that Pacific sound. I'm
Yeah,
not
just
talking about
that-
the beat itself. I'm talking about just that
Pacific,
sound.
like the ocean.
Yes, like the ocean.
Wet and salty.
It's very like gentle type of sound
Beachy.
generally.
Pretty beachy.
Okay, Anna.
All right then.
But yeah.
You're gonna kill me by this.
And I think the last rap song we have to focus was Hunting Season.
Whoa. I had a little something to say about Homecoming. You just gonna roll right over that?
Yeah, we're gonna wait for you. We're
just
not
gonna
gonna let
see-
you do the same shit on that you've done. I
Go
felt like
ahead.
it was
No.
rather generic. Only
Go
let me
ahead,
use
call it
these
generic one more
words
time.
to-
I
Murder
dare
the
you.
last one.
No, but there was a lot more contradictory back and forth in the lyrics. It made it goofy and it was a lot more fun.
Okay.
Okay.
So it wasn't generic.
No, it wasn't generic.
Ooh.
Plot
It's a step up.
Plot twist. All right, so Jadakiss dropped
Hunting Season.
Ignatius.
Ignatius.
Ignatius, yes. This album was made in honor of Ignatius Maurice Icepick J. Jackson, whose friend, well, according to an article I read, Jadakiss's best friend / manager who passed in 2017 due to colon cancer. And
Ouch.
this album was put together with a group of people who Ignatius always wanted Jadakiss to work with. So instead of having like the normal themes that you'd hear on a Jadakiss album, you know, it's set up differently. Supposedly Jadakiss is going to be working on some more Jadakiss style shit after this, but yeah, Hunting Season is one of the songs I wanted to highlight off of it. I thought it was a dope song. Jada had two normal Jada verses, in my opinion, which I like Jada, so I thought they were great. Pusha responded to an interview Drake had in his verse, which I thought was rather interesting.
Oh.
Yeah, Drake said in an interview, forget who he was interviewing with, that he was talking about how Pusha lies in his rhymes and how growing up in Toronto, he thought Pusha was like the biggest drug dealer in like all of Virginia or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh, I came to find out it's not. So that piece where he's like sitting there rapping about how he never lied on a track and how like the last time he had to like shoot somebody, it was to keep Adidas pure. That was referencing the story of Adidon. And the artwork for the story of Adidon is part of the Adidas press run that they were going to do with Drake getting his own sneaker from Adidas.
Okay.
So that's what that punchline was. Anyone who doesn't know all that would hear it and go, what the fuck is he going on about?
Yeah, right. That's what I did.
So, yeah.
So you want to talk about hunting season?
Yeah. When I think of all these rappers, it's hunting season.
I wasn't impressed with it.
I thought you might enjoy that eerie opening music. It was like slightly jarring when they like broke out in a rap.
It was. I didn't really catch that.
I dug it. It was a little eerie to me.
I didn't catch it. I don't know. I just something about the.
It wasn't like the fog eerie. It was like the mist.
I still didn't catch it. I was not impressed overall with it. I mean, it's solid. Don't get me wrong. It's very well put together, but nothing about it really stood out to me as like, oh, I want to highlight this. But I mean, it's.
I don't know. When it came to the rapping, I felt like you could truly feel that he's just frustrated and over people getting shot down and not getting to see all the money that they make that they're leaving to their kids and shit. Like, that was literally in the lyrics. It wasn't until I looked at the lyrics that I was actually like, whoa, it's actually pretty... It's okay put together. It's like... It's not just duct taped.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
said. Like, it's a solid in terms of like structure and composition. It's very well put together.
Yeah. I think what delayed the album, remember I talked about it, I think 2 weeks ago, I said it was supposed to come out.
Yes.
I think what delayed the album, I forget what song it is, but towards the end, he's shouting out all the people who were part of the rap game who we've lost. And I was shocked to hear the shout out to Pop Smoke. Well, it was not a shout out, it was a rest in peace style shout out.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked to hear that because I feel like in order for that to be on there, like, I think he had to go back and put that on there. Like, I don't think that was originally on there. Because 9 times out of 10, these albums are done months in advance
Right.
before their release date.
Yeah, they're usually done like way beforehand, and they're mixed and mastered until the release.
Yeah.
Generally.
So I just thought it was dope to hear that on there. I also enjoyed Catch and Release and Me off that, but we can get on to rock or metal if that's.
Why don't we jump on the metal?
And we got 2 albums this time. A little bit of
Yeah.
a bonus feature.
You want to
yeah.
start up, Ron?
Yeah, I'll start up. So I had the new album by Body Count, which is Carnivore.
A lovely title.
It's a very lovely
Gives you
title.
a good sneak peek of what's to come.
I enjoy it. I'm not gonna say I love it.
Yeah.
Because instrumentally, it is a metalcore thrash like set list.
Yes.
Like,
Oh my
And
God.
your neck's
The
gonna hurt
first-
after listening
The
to it.
first note on my page is just how Ron likes it. Heavy as fuck.
It's a very it's surprisingly riff heavy.
Yeah.
Because when I think Ice-T and then I hear him do it, and then you tell me he's gonna do a metal album, I'm gonna think, all right, there's gonna be a lot of bass and there's gonna be a lot of drums. No, there was a lot of guitar.
Yeah.
A lot of work too. Like it wasn't just simple work.
Well, this band's been out since the 90s.
Right,
With
and-
Ice-T as a member of it.
Right.
So,
But like I said, just when I hear the name Ice-T paired with the metal genre, I don't think of riff heavy metalcore. I think of bass heavy drum work.
Did you get a little bit, like, not when he was actually, like, flowing, but when he was kind of spaced out and almost, like, talking? Did you get a little bit of a Hollywood Undead vibe, a little bit? Just a little...
On certain songs, yes.
Specifically on, I think Point the Finger really did it for me. I was like, wait, what are we listening to?
Yeah.
I had a little bit of a moment.
Point the Finger is one of the ones I actually wanted to highlight too.
dude, that song was hard and fast.
So good.
Fucking. I'm not a fan of the vocals on it. For me, vocally, I give or take. But instrumentally and lyrically, I fucked with it.
Oh yeah.
Like I really fucked with it.
When it comes, when you hear the name Ice-T, yeah, you think of his rap game, and for some people they'll think of Body Count. But when I hear Ice-T, I think of his representation and support for the black community when it comes to rights and the NCAA and all that kind of stuff. That's what I think of, because he's always pushing for that. He's always pushing for the equality. He's always, trying to make it known that, skin color is not the main thing that cops try to go off of when it's stereotyped that way, or just in that type of general sense. So that's what I got off of this, and that's what I got off the album as a whole for the most part. I love that. I love that he brings that into his music. So, and then there's the single Bum Rush. I know you wanted to talk about that one.
Well, I already talked about it in a previous episode.
you did.
And it's not
This
all
is
that
true.
fresh on my mind, so I don't want to dive into that. Sorry.
That's okay. And then I also had Colors 2020.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
I wish
boy.
Ice-T flowed like this on the other songs.
He literally complained about him not flowing properly, and then
And then-
in this song came on.
Like,
Yep.
dude, I was
Perfectly.
like, what? Like, it was instrumentally and vocally dope.
That beautiful, complex dad metal solo breakdown at the end, that was delicious.
It was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I think Colors is one of my favorite ones off of this set.
I also rocked with the message off of it as well. So,
I think and then the last one I had was No Remorse.
that motherfucker needs a therapist.
Yes.
I mean, it was hard as fuck, but motherfucker needs a therapist, bro.
Revenge is not a good driving force. Like, if you needed to get you out of a depressive state and just, like, pick you up, once you're standing up, you should just shake that shit off.
Right. Don't ride it out.
Don't ride it out. No. If you needed to stand up, I'm for that. If you are really stuck in a hole and that's gonna dig you out of it, cool. Don't use that when you're up in the sunshine. Enjoy the fucking sunshine. Chill the hell out.
Yeah, the album is 39 minutes of heavy brutality and very deep, like very in-depth, meaningful lyrics. So it's something I think everyone should try at least. Whether or not you like it when you do, but at least give it a once-over.
Make sure you skip Ace of Spades.
Yes, that is a horrible cover, by the way. Sorry, Ice-T.
That is disrespectful to Lemmy.
If you
May he rest in peace.
if you have difficulties paying attention, I suggest putting it on, giving it a listen, not paying much, not trying to look at it. Don't have to look at a video. You don't gotta look at the art. But what you can do afterwards is look over the lyrics and actually read them.
Yes.
Let me tell you, I fully digested it in one good swoop of doing both, and it was gold.
Yeah, it brings two different genres together in a very well put together album. Like it's very, very nice.
Speaking of having looked up the lyrics, in an attempt to look up the No Remorse lyrics, I had the lyrics for Bitch in the Pit. And let me tell you, have I never agreed with someone more. As being me, in front of a crowd, seeing mosh pits slowly forming, and I see shoulders and elbows above my head, I'm like, nope, 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 time to get the fuck out. I can't breathe, gotta go. To see someone just at 5 foot become a football player and
Yep.
get the fuck out of the crowd. I get it. If you're a bad bitch, do what you want. If you want to die there in the mosh pit, that's cool. But he was a little aggressive about it, that jam. I can't tell if he was trying to warn them or if he just literally doesn't give a shit.
But moving on to our other album here.
We have Dance with the Devil by the Burning Witches.
First thing I want to say is it's very like hair metal.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
it's a solid 80s hair metal.
It's an 80s hair metal set list.
They are
and it's-
so good.
Have we talked about these?
We've talked
We have.
We talked
It was
about
Dance
One
with the Devil was the song that
single.
we talked about.
Yeah, we
off
talked
of-
about
When
the
they
title
finally
track.
released the album.
Yeah.
They 100% are. If they would have been in the 80s, good God, they'd
Yeah.
be famous as shit.
Vocally, I didn't care for it. Just I don't like the way she like presents it. But like lyrically and just like instrumentally, it's the cadence, the sound, like the structure is just 80s hair metal. I was like,
Everything about it.
And like
The
the
checklist. Just go down the whole list,
song-
check every box.
The first song
It's all
kicks down the
80s.
door and starts punching everything.
yeah, I mean,
Just no remorse.
there are modern elements to it. Like
Oh, yeah.
the tuning of the guitar is very much modern. The like the part of the cadence and part of like the actual sound of the vocals is very modern too. And just like the whole structure though is very it's 80s hair metal. Like it sounds so dated, but when you have that modern
Oh yeah.
splash onto it, it makes it a little bit more refreshing. I did enjoy it. I'm not a big fan of. I don't actively listen to 80s hair metal. I shouldn't say I'm a big fan of it because I do like it. Because I do like Guns N' Roses and I do like Motley Crue and all them. I don't necessarily go for it though. But this is nice to have on like every once in a while for me.
I got a little bit of a Dio vibe on a few of the songs.
Yes.
Felt it too.
Yes. A lot of the riffs were very like. A lot of them were a little chunky.
Yeah.
And it does bring out Dio a little bit. I did hear that. I liked it. It was good. I do. It's the name Burning Witches though. Like even like the
Oh, yeah.
intro song, like the intro piece called Incantation. Like that just immediately sets the tone for like what the rest of the album brings you. I liked it. I thought it was good.
Do we wish to move on to our soft electro rock?
Sure.
That's what you would
please.
consider that, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I listened to the album
Some
on
of
my
it.
way over here, and I was like, this has got to be soft electro rock. I mean, it has soft rock taste to it with electronic vibes. The song you recommended, Dark Star,
Yeah.
did not feel like it didn't have the electro pieces in it. At least
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on any. But I enjoyed it. So,
Yeah, Dark Star, that theatrical classic rock opening. Very, it had that drama to it, but it also had a mid to late 90s softer rock feel
yeah.
throughout the whole song.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I just really enjoyed how smooth the vocals flowed throughout the entire track.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It just made it enjoyable so much to listen to.
Look at this right here. I wrote down the vocal had the most gentle and still masculinely low voice. And it truly glued all this beautiful solid work together.
Oh yes.
God, his vocals were. God, another high five.
Like felt like I was flying high the entire time.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
just
On a cloud.
Just flying along.
On a cloud with a velvet pillow.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's where that voice takes you. Yo, fight me.
What?
I just wanted to see how you'd react.
We've also got End of Time by K391. Also featuring Alan Walker and Ulrichs.
I would love to
It's-
talk about that female vocalist's voice.
It's got a, yeah.
That very pop,
It
sweet.
felt very poppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the drop was like real light and upbeat. Like, it wasn't like your normal typical
They
EDM
were
drop. It was more or less
bubblegummy.
like a,
Yeah.
it was like a harder version of a pop drop.
Mm-hmm.
Bubblegum.
Yeah.
Then we've also got Life in a Hole by Unlike Pluto.
Oh my god, I detected an accent. Where are they from?
I'm not sure.
We're gonna have to find that one out because I detect an accent.
Bird.
Yeah, the soft start to the song gives you a sense of that there's going to be a build up, and you anticipate it. And I like how they build up the anticipation for it, and it hits you with this soft, kind of slowed down sounding drum and bass style drop. It still has that doom, tst, doom, doom, tst, but it's like slower. I think it makes for good driving music.
And
personally.
here again, we have another prime example of happy sounding sad lyric song.
Oh yeah.
It's getting added to my playlist, just saying. I love that contradictory shit.
That's not something
Well,
you'd have in your playlist.
So I searched it up real quick, and he's actually from Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh.
So you did hear
That
an
is
accent.
not the type of accent I was expecting.
You sound almost disappointed.
Almost.
Where did you think he was
apologies.
from?
I was thinking like Eastern Europe,
Overseas, across the pond.
across the pond.
Tiny little lake.
So, David Guetta.
What did it sound a little like? You want to take this outside?
No, I'm good.
What's with you just like trying to
I don't know.
It's
trying to start something with everybody?
she's trying to, prove that she is dominant. She's trying
I
to
can't
prove her
physically
dominance.
piss on all of you, so I have to bully all of you.
Oh, okay, that's what this is. Okay, cool. So David Guetta and Morton put out a song called Detroit 3 AM. The song is legitimately about nothing. All you hear is, "This is Detroit 3 AM." But instrumentally, it starts off with a heavy synth lead. And you know you're in for something. And it turns into a solid club banger. Like, I wasn't... Like, when I see David Guetta, I think maybe, like, festival banger.
Mm-hmm.
Get it?
But... Guetta.
Good?
Scooter.
Das ist gut.
So this is somebody else.
Yes.
Das ist Scooter.
Yes.
Why are there a bunch of people with very close, like one letter off sounding names?
It happens.
I don't like this.
But I did really enjoy the bass heavy, club song that it is.
Oh,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Another, since we're staying in the EDM genre, another song that I liked was Peekaboo and IOSXO.
Eh?
ISOXO.
Eh?
Power.
That made it more confusing. I'm very lost.
It's called Power Move. I played it shortly during our meeting. Any thoughts on it? Or you want me to just jump?
Yo, what word?
Anyway,
You did?
yeah.
That sounds intense. Power move.
So it's a bass house, trap, and dubstep hybrid. Okay, the mix.
It was weird.
Well, the mix is odd.
Yeah, it's very
Those,
odd.
those things don't mix
choice.
well.
No, they really don't.
But somehow I liked it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't terrible. The
Like,
song itself wasn't bad. It's just a weird blend of genres that just don't really work together.
Kind of like trying to make a Celtic beat. I didn't push him under the bus. I ran him over with the bus. I was driving
So-
the bus.
What was
he
it?
backed up.
Episode 1. I covered Pop Smoke's album, and I was talking about Drill. And I
Oh, yeah, your
misspoke.
beautiful revelation.
Yes, I misspoke. I wound up watching a documentary on drill music and found out that Chicago is actually where drill music started. And then it moved to England. And then the style that Pop Smoke used in what is considered Brooklyn drill is actually influenced by the UK drill. So, I misspoke. On the subject of drill,
You were
though.
wrong.
So, 67 Dimsy, LD, Monkey, ASAP, Liquiz, R6, ST&J dropped a song called Sports. That's just that's a list of drill rappers, yes, from the UK. It's a hella dope fucking song. They're
You're getting
pretty much
really into
about
drill, aren't you?
gangster shit. I enjoy it. It
That's all I was asking.
just really fucking enjoy it. And the beat's cold as fuck, but yeah,
Is it
it's
ice
definitely.
cold?
If you haven't heard UK drill, it's definitely a good song to check out.
Stop! Don't look at me like that. I'm
don't
older
say-
than you. You're not allowed
Doesn't-
to look at me like that.
And then don't say some stupid shit.
I can say whatever the fuck I want.
So St. Patrick's Day is coming up,
Yes.
It is.
and we have a side topic that has to deal with that. You believe that shit?
We actually have topical side topics.
Because there's noise that comes out of Ireland that inspires other noise.
Yeah.
Believe that shit or not?
I mean, I can believe it.
Yeah,
I could talk about it all day.
we know. the first week's episode, we assigned you The Rock, and you were like, "Oh, okay,
And we got
Irish
a taste-
Rovers,
Yeah, we got a taste of what we're talking about.
dope." And I'm sure that a few of their songs winded up on somebody's list. So, amongst us. But yeah, who wants to give their top 5 first?
I guess I'll go first with my top 5. So for my top 5 Celtic sea shanty inspired songs, I went with Whiskey in the Jar. I had Randy Dandio, Irish Washerwoman, Leaving of Liverpool, and 10,000 Miles Away. Because, of course, you know, they're old enough, old traditional songs. Anyone's done it at this point.
Yeah.
So, they're beautiful, lovely songs. Fantastic to sing along to. And you could start them up and know the words instantly.
I went with a group of Irish-inspired or influenced songs. Started off, let me just start off in Australia with the Rummajacks and their song "An Irish Pub."
Huh.
Yeah, I fucking love the song.
I love that song.
Yeah, just fucking great song. Whale oil, beef hooked. Anyway, the High Kings, Star of the Country Down. That is I believe it's traditional, right? I've heard plenty of covers of it. That's what I'm
I think it
assuming.
is.
Okay. The Real Mackenzies with Chip. I'm not sure where they're from, so. And then we can go up to Boston with the Dropkick Murphys and their cover of a Irish folk song by the name of Green Fields of France. The song was written about World War One, and in it he mentions someone by the name of Billy McBride. The guy who originally wrote it said that he was walking through a cemetery in France and seen a messload of graveyards, and a lot of the stones read, people with Irish last names, and all of them around 1916, or I can't remember exactly when World War One was. But that's what the song generally focuses around. And while the Dropkick Murphys tend to cover traditional songs and bring them, up the intensity and everything, this they did beautifully. They kept with a very traditional Irish sound, and quite frankly, I might be a sissy, but I kind of tear up towards the end of it. So,
Hey, if you feel something from a song,
like,
You're
it gets
human.
depressing.
You're allowed to feel. There's
Yeah.
a reason you have emotions. Just because you have something dangling between your legs doesn't mean you're not allowed to cry.
Prove it,
I just
I
did.
cry all the time.
yeah.
pussy.
Look at him. Look at how
It
manly
means I'm
this guy is.
alive.
Look at him. He's got a fuller mustache than you. He's obviously more manly and he cries. Come on, Ed. You gotta cry to grow a mustache.
And he's younger.
It's true. My tears go down my face and then they suddenly
You moisturize.
Ron?
Fertilize the mustache.
fertilize the mustache with your
I
own
made it
tears.
I didn't have facial hair till I was 20. Anyway, so the Bolocks, on a much lighter note than Green Fields of France, the Bolocks have a song called Terralou, which is just a fun song to listen to. A lot of energy. Like, I could totally hear right before a puck drop, right after a goal got scored, being played. Terralou, Terralou, Terralou.
It would appear that I threw my list out, so I'm trying to remember all of them from memory. I know on my list I had Irish reggae band,
Of course, yeah.
and that was Oh hell, who was that by?
That was the Irish
Irish
Rovers.
Yeah.
It's the Irish Rovers. Obviously, it doesn't have anything to do with anything, but
Yeah.
I'm me, so fuck it. I know I had two kind of basic.
You had some songs by the Dropkick Murphys.
That's
Yeah,
who
one
they
of
are.
them was,
I had two basic songs by the Dropkick Murphys. One of them was Rose Tattoo. Everybody's probably given it a listen or two. It's very, very hype.
Surprising if you haven't.
Love that song.
The second song is probably my favorite song by Dropkick Murphys. It's Johnny, I Hardly Knew Ya. Not allowed to drive in the car to that song either. That one got taken off my list. I got too hype.
Damn. Hate when it happens.
And I know I had Flogging Molly's. Is it Devil's Dance? Devil's Dance? Pretty sure it's called Devil's Dance.
That I couldn't tell you, for sure.
Oh, you bastard.
Aren't they from Canada?
Devil's Dance Floor. That's
Yeah.
what it's called.
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
It's a.
I think that's the only song by them that I actually fuck with.
I think.
honest with
I
you.
think that's another basic one. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh my! I had a really friggin' good one on that list too, and I can't remember what it was. I accidentally threw it out because I tried to empty all the junk pages out of this notebook, and I just realized while I was looking for it that I threw it away.
Damn.
And I don't know what trash can it's in. So, I got that many.
So I didn't really put together a list. I talked to you guys about this briefly earlier. It's
Fast rap!
stop.
It wasn't a fast rap. He mumbled a bit.
Yes.
It's mumble rap.
Fast
We don't talk about that here.
We already did.
I talk about it every week. Where the fuck have you been?
Not listening to it, obviously.
I generally don't I don't generally listen to the genre. I don't care for it too much personally. But I've heard a couple songs in passing due to hanging out with Bruce. Rose Tattoo, I know Whiskey in the Jar only because of Metallica. So
Which they did an amazing version of it.
they did.
Yeah.
So if that
was
counts,
dope.
that's on my list.
It ca-
You know, I like I said, I don't have favorites. I just have the ones that I know,
Yeah.
which I enjoy. I don't necessarily hate them, but I get the appeal. I generally don't like a lot of the genre itself is very stripped in terms of complexity.
Which is normally what you would find.
Yeah,
Which is fine.
It's a
It's
genre that's made to make you dance.
Yeah,
Fine.
it's a folk
It's something
dance
that's
kind of
supposed to
thing.
be
It's a
able to play anywhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a folk dance kind of thing.
Something you can whip out an instrument and start playing no matter what you got.
Yeah. So in that terms, it's enjoyable. It's very lighthearted in terms of sound. But you know, overall, it's like Whiskey in a Jar, Rose Tattoo, and a couple other ones. So pretty much all I really know that I enjoy myself.
And if I were to say some of my honorable mentions, because obviously there's so many.
Oh boy, there's a list.
I
Well-
told you minimum, maximum of 5.
Well,
Minimum
I only,
five,
I've only,
remember
I've only got,
No. Maximum
I've
of
only
5.
got, I've only got
We
3
will
right
be-
now.
This will be
Go
our
do it.
longest episode ever if we let him do this.
Yes, it will.
So my 3 honorable mentions were Drunken Sailor.
3 hours later.
I went with Drunken Sailor because everyone knows this song.
What would you do with a drunken sailor?
Yeah, everyone can sing it. I went with Mariner's Revenge by the
I
Dreadnoughts.
believe it's pronounced Mariners.
Well, Oh yeah, that's right. He says Mariner's Revenge. Mariner's Revenge by the Dreadnoughts because it's just an amazing song that tells a great story, and it brings you along for the ride. And then I went with Jolly Rouge by the Dreadnoughts as well.
Okay.
It's just a fun one to sing.
One of my favorite traditional songs, I believe it's traditional, is Rocky Road to Dublin.
That's what I was thinking of. I love that
Yes.
song.
Yes. Also, I enjoy Old Triangle by the Dropkick Murphys, and I'm gonna say another Dropkick song. Obviously American, so I guess I have an excuse there. Going Out in Style. Fucking love
That's
that
a great
song.
one.
Moving on to the news.
News.
Katy
So-
Perry's pregnant!
Oh God! Whoa! Congratulations.
Congrats.
Okay.
I wish you health.
Oh, in other news about things coming soon,
I bet that baby's gonna be cute as hell.
Tekashi 6ix9ine's getting released from prison
Oh boy.
on August 2nd,
Well, ain't that surprising?
2020. What was it? I know Kodak Black got caught with a firearm and pled guilty to it. He could be facing a 2 to 7 year sentence. I don't know what it is about Kodak, but he seems to struggle to stay out of trouble.
He's a glutton for punishment.
I enjoy his music, and it's like every time he gets released from prison, he goes back, or he gets, he finds another way to get in trouble.
He just likes it there.
Yeah.
Apparently. Maybe that's where his inspiration comes from.
Ah,
Being in prison.
He has so much time to just think.
I mean, yeah.
anyway,
This was something that I found last week that I wanted to share, and I ended up not doing it.
okay, fire away.
There's a lawsuit happening against two of the artists that worked on the Black Panther album.
Oh yeah, you're talking about The Weeknd and Kendrick Lamar. I remember
Yes.
you talking about this after the pod last week.
There is a song on there. I think it's one of the final songs on the track list, but it was featured in the movie, which is Save Me, I think it is. No, what the hell was it called? Pray for Me. I think it was Pray for Me.
Okay.
There apparently, I don't remember the original band's name. So, but apparently there is a band that is suing Kendrick Lamar and The Weeknd, and the producer they worked with, supposedly, if I remember correctly, for a sampling in the song "Pray for Me," because apparently in the in the part where the choir comes in, there is a sampling from the original artists with one of their songs with this choir element, and their voices are in it. And when they heard "Pray for Me," they claim to have heard their version of this choir with their voices in it underneath all of the music, and that Kendrick Lamar and The Weeknd and their producer knowingly tried to take that out and make it their own thing. But according to this band, it's the exact same thing as they have, just like the volume of it's brought down and all, like forcibly been trying to get stripped out. So there's that whole discrepancy going on too. Which is a shame because it's a good movie, and then it's a good song.
See, I don't
So-
watch movies. I listen to music. I enjoyed the soundtrack. So,
I enjoy covers of that song specifically. There's a song by From Ashes to New, or they did From Ashes to New did a cover of the song a while ago. It's a very good cover. It's a nice. It's a heavier take on it too, but it's very nice. So there's a couple out there if anybody wants to go find them. But yeah, that whole discrepancy is going on right now. If I see anything more, I will be sure to bring that up.
okay. So, we decided this week we're going to actually cancel the tour segment. The upcoming,
Yeah, that's
concerts
tour dates.
because
Coronavirus canceled it.
yes,
Yeah.
as it
Decided
did with
to
South by
help protect
Southwest,
everyone's health.
Coachella, Ultra Music Festival, and pretty much any music festival you were planning to go to. Also, Live Music has canceled all their tour dates. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of Coachella, I'm actually waiting for the one concert I have coming up in May to be canceled. I don't know if it will though.
Okay.
Supposedly E3 has also been rumored to be canceled,
Okay.
so there's that as well. But speaking of Coachella, Hatsune Miku has a new song. For anybody who knows who that is, for anyone who doesn't, Hatsune Miku is what we call a Vocaloid. She's a digitized vocalist. And she actually has a hologram of her when she does live shows. They actually bring up a hologram of her for the audience and stuff like that. It's very like electronic pop style music. She did release a new song. I don't know how to pronounce it because I can't read hiragana.
Okay.
But I mean, it's Hatsune Miku. It's very usually lighthearted and upbeat. So it's enjoyable. I do recommend it for anybody who likes that style of music. But that's just what I had to throw in the junk crate. Just
Okay.
kind of out there.
It's really nice to see the opposite side of you. Because usually we just hear you talking about,
Brutality.
and you're over here like, Hatsune Miku.
Yeah, no,
Da-da-da-da-da.
it's like I like
And
Nightcore
even
too.
even your voice, it just kind of like picked up a little bit around the edge.
Yeah, I like Hatsune Miku. I as a character, as a
Now you're
as an
not saying
artist.
it like you were before. I'm not picking on you. I thought it was beautiful.
I know. I like her music. I like her as a character. And I like Nightcore, so it's sort of my guilty pleasure music that I don't bring up too often.
Yep.
But
This is a safe place, Ron.
That's kind of like me with certain parts of country. There are some that are kind of like weak guilty pleasures for me just because it makes me think of my mom. I miss
Well,
my
yeah.
mom.
Okay.
She's too far away.
Going
I
on
remember when she would play these songs and I would be like, I'd just walk in the living room and I would roll my eyes and be like, no, you will never make me listen to this garbage. And she's like, you'll like it one day. I didn't know because I'm like 600 miles away.
yeah, another thing I can throw in a junk crate is there's an artist by the name of Divide Music.
Okay.
The guy does different genres when he makes his songs, but a lot of them are about pop culture movies like Marvel films and then anime as well. So I had a friend, an online friend of mine, recommend this guy to me. He does some very good work. It's very, very nice. So if anybody likes anime-styled music, whether it be heavy metal or a pop or an EDM kind of sound, or something that's about a Marvel movie, by all means, check him out. He has also 5 original songs as well of his own, like his own work about his own stuff. So go give him a listen too. Go try him out.
Okay.
And I think that's all I have.
All right. We'll be moving into the upcoming albums. So I got Chris Kaleko with Eternal. And I probably fucked their name up.
I'd
But
say it's probably butchered to all fuck.
it happens. Sometimes I butcher the English language.
This is true.
It's my second language. Big Frida is dropping Louder. Rich the Kid is dropping Boss Man. Dax will be dropping I'll Say It For You. And J Electronica is dropping a written testimony. All this is supposed to come out Friday night, which would be the night of... Well, actually, yeah, all this is supposed to be out by Friday, which is the day that this gets dropped. So, be sure to check out those albums.
I'll dive in with my upcoming list. There's not a whole lot here. There's also not a whole lot on here that I'm looking forward to. But as of March 13th, which is when it gets uploaded, so these will be out by then, we have Code Orange with Underneath. We have Connie Bloom with Game Set Bloom. We have Crimson Shadows with the Resurrection EP. David Townsend Project with the with a box set for, it's a vinyl box set for the live album By a Thread. We have Goddard with number 13. Human Impact with their self-titled. Huntsman with Mandala of Fear. Jonathan Holton, Chance from Another Place. Lichgate with also, I think it's also Sprague Futura. Hope I got that right. Puta Volcano with Amma or Amma. Yes, that's, yeah.
It's what?
You want to read it? Puta Volcano. That's what it says. I assume that's how it's pronounced.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
I don't know. Sicarius, God of Dead Roots, Stitched Up Heart, Darkness. That might be the only one I'm interested in. Tomorrow is Lost with Therapy, and then The Unity with Pride.
Pride and Therapy.
Yes.
Pride of Therapy.
Pride, Therapy, and Darkness. So.
All right, so I have 2 upcoming rock albums that I can talk about real quick.
Nice.
We've got Bon Jovi 2020, which is going to be coming out May 15th.
He's running for president too.
I mean, the
Could
guy's
be.
dead, so I'd be surprised.
Bon Jovi?
I don't know. I don't care anymore. I don't pay attention to I don't pay attention to stuff.
Wait. We can't just be offing people because we don't pay attention to their shit.
It's like, I don't care about him more. Just kill him now.
I was thinking of. I get the two mixed up. You know what I mean?
All right.
Edit point, I guess.
All right. And the other rock album I have is Gigaton by Pearl Jam, coming out March 27th.
Okay.
I think I heard something about Pearl Jam doing something else.
Yeah, it'll be the first studio album they've done in 7 years.
Nice.
All right, to keep within the week up to March 13th, we have Group Love's Healer coming out, which is why I was being weird.
Okay.
All right.
We were wondering.
We
am
were concerned.
Well, Bruce
Friggin-
was concerned. I was being an asshole.
Has
Yeah.
anybody else listened to Group Love in
No.
this room?
Don't think so.
There's a song called Tongue Tied I was addicted to for so freaking long.
Okay.
The hype jam. Weird stuff. Good night, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite.
Fuck out of here. All right, so this concludes our weekly podcast. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week with new songs and albums to talk about. Till then, player, one love. Have a great week. Stay safe, mosh and rave responsibly, and enjoy the noise. Fuck it.
And
Fuck
don't
this
forget to do
goddamn
drugs.
shit.
Drugs are good for you.
Stop doing drugs, god damn it.